Well, hey there, everyone. It's Vermonti with Nature of art teacher, and I have a technique I want to share with you. I have been talking about this in my newsletter and with some of my local friends, and recently I took a watercolor class, an adult watercolor class, and my art teacher shared a really fun technique using tissue paper. And I've been dying to share it with you teachers and parents because I know this is going to be a really fun technique you can share with kids. And basically all it is using tissue paper. Let me find my sample here. I have a sample. It flew away because I have a fan going on in here. Tissue paper. The same kind of tissue paper that you use for gift wrapping. It's really basic, but you need this kind of paper and you need it white. You can find this in any gift store. And so that's what I'm going to be showing you today. And what am I going to be showing you to do with it? Learning to paint with it. Now, I have a lot of sun in my room right now, and I had to close a window, but you barely see it. But I'm going to put it up to the, there you go. This is a fun project I did, and I'm going to share how I did this with tissue paper. And what you're looking at is there's a texture now. You can't see it very well here. You're going to have to watch me do it. Okay. All right, well, let's get started. I'm going to turn on my document camera and demo. Okay, as I said, I've been wanting to share this project with you, and what I have right here is you're looking at white tissue paper, like the most basic tissue paper you get for gift wrapping. Okay, that's exactly what I want, the cheapest thing. You can actually find this like in like the dollar type stores in gift wrapping and stuff, and that's kind of what I want you to find. So it's not a special paper. Don't go looking for, you know, some fancy art paper. It's really just tissue, gift wrapping. And then what we're going to do is we're going to crumble it because we want to create a texture and a pattern. And this is the fun part about this. It's so fun. So literally you're going to smash it all down and you're going to get a texture. It's going to be all lines and texture on it. So that's the first step, is we're going to get our watercolor prepared, and then we're going to put it in over watercolor paper. I have a very small watercolor pad here on my desk, and I'm going to show you how simple. This is a small postcard size, and I'm going to cut it to that size. Oops, I got a fan blowing in the background that's making my stuff move around. But I wanted to show you how easy and simple this could be for setting up with your students or your children, depending if you're in the classroom or you're at home working with kids. It's not that difficult. Once you show kids how to do this, they're going to come up with their own method and how they're going to paint. So you got your tissue and you got your watercolor paper. So that's the first step in prepping. Then you're going to tape it down, okay? Okay, I'm going to demonstrate setting up for this art project. Okay, so you're going to need a piece of watercolor paper. You're going to need that tissue paper. It's got to be all crumbled up. So you want to make sure that you're crumbling up your paper, because that's the technique that I'm going to be showing you how to paint some really fun texture. Now there's two ways to do this. Okay, you can draw and trace on your paper directly, or you can draw on the tissue paper. I'm going to go ahead and draw on the paper. That way you can see the image clearly. Grabbing my pencil. All right, so something really basic just to start off. If you're starting off with young kids, you can have them draw something really simple. I'm going to draw a fish shape. They can draw something really easy like a flower or an animal. This is my fish, somewhat a fish. You can change it and kind of get more detail the way you want. But I'm going to start like this. All right. So I got my fish in here. Now, I made a very interesting mistake. I was supposed to glue my paper onto my surface, and somehow I made a mistake and just taped it down. I'm getting my tape right now so I can tape it down. I've got some masking tape here. So I'm going to show you how to do it where you don't glue down the paper, and then I'm going to show you how to do it with gluing down the paper. So you want to secure the tissue paper all the way around because you're going to paint on it. Now this was a really fun mistake I made because what happened was I was supposed to glue it down with a glue stick. Instead I just taped it down, and when I took it off I had two paintings to have and to use. So that's why I want to show you this really quick. So okay, I'm all set up to paint this tissue, my fish, and I've got some watercolor paint here and water and a napkin. I've got my watercolor tray. If you've never seen that before, it's a product that I make. It's a material I make. It's a tray, a Montessori tray that you set up for kids to explore color mixing. We're going to use that. I'm going to use this palette. I'm going to put some warm colors in my palette so I can paint my tissue. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I want to mix a couple of colors together. I want to make some kind of oranges. All right. Make sure your students have a napkin nearby. I always have a napkin near my wash jar. My wash jar is in this tray, so I want to have that nearby. So I'm gonna take some yellow here and kind of make a little orange. Okay. Now I'm gonna paint my paper. Now I'm gonna paint right close to the edge, but not all the way. And what you can see is some really pretty texture happening. You can see the pink. I'm going to add some red too directly and some yellow just so the fish has some really cool texture around it. But what you're starting to see, it's almost like a mosaic pattern. It's really fun. I'll put the camera closer as I get through, but you want to show your students that you paint inside wherever you want your image. And you'll see these little crackly lines from the tissue being crumbled start to pop up, and it's giving this really fun texture. And that's what I think is so cool about this new fun texture. And I'm not going all the way to the lines. I just want to make sure that it doesn't bleed over. It doesn't matter if you do, just if you want the kids to have a perfect shape, just tell them to kind of get really close. These are primary colors I'm working with today. I'm probably going to use blue, the dark color, to make the eye. So you want to get close and just kind of make the details you need. But isn't that really neat? It's so fun. It's so pretty. All right, I'm going to get blues to make my eye. Okay. Wash my brush really well. If you've never watched any of my videos or taken any of my color theory lessons or my curriculum, it's very important that we teach kids how to clean their brushes really well because you don't want to be mixing primary colors. Okay, I'm going to dab a little blue in the center where my eye is going to go. And it will run because it's watercolor, so tell your students to be very careful. Okay, now I think I want to paint the background blue. I'm going to lighten up some blue in a different palette so it's not dark blue, just light. Put more water in here. All right, now I'm going to paint the ocean in the background. What's really fun is not to go all the way to the edge, to go close to it and leave that white right there where each color would connect, and that kind of makes it even look more mosaic. It's got that crackly mosaic look. It's so much fun. So when I did it in my art class, I did it with an elephant. It was a bigger project and more detailed, and it came out so cute. I'll try to find my sample so I can share it with you, but it's so much fun. I think that once you show your students, they'll get creative and start inventing their own things to do and own look. I'm making it kind of dark right here in the front. So if you get too close, the two colors will run. You'll see some of my blue ran inside right here, and that's okay. It's still pretty. That's why you want to keep like a white rim around it and not get all the way. It's so fun. Now, I think I'm done for this demo just to show you. I'm going to let it dry and I'm going to pull it off and I'm going to show you what was cool about this, why I made a mistake and made 2 paintings. Then I'll show you how to do it with using the glue stick, and how I was supposed to do it originally, but didn't. I made my fun mistake. All right, so there is my cute little fish. Isn't that adorable? And it looks so cool. Like if you look close up to it, you'll see like texture. So I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll pull it off and show you the sample. Okay, I'm back to show you my fish. I had to turn it upside down because the camera is facing a different way. So here's my fish, and I gave it some time to dry. Now your students might fall in love with this and just want it the way it is on the paper, and you can go ahead and keep it that way and frame it maybe. Or you could do this. This is really cool. So I'm gonna remove the tape. And here's what I was telling you about this really cool surprise. Look at how cool this is by itself. Whoops. Okay, that's one. This is my fish. And then look at this. I have 2 paintings. This is what I meant about something really cool happening here. Look at how cool that is. I don't know if you can see it with my camera light, but it's got that effect. And then I have the fish that I can, now I have 2 paintings, and I can do something with both of them. All right, so let me show you the right way I was supposed to do it when I made this cool mistake. Oh, I'm showing you the back part, sorry. This is the front part. It's more textured. It looks so cool. It's like old. It's got that antique look, and it'd be kind of fun to maybe even talk about mosaics and use this as a fun project for that. All right, so I'm going to show you the right way I was supposed to do it. All right, so I'm going to get another piece of watercolor paper. I got a little watercolor pad here. Get my tissue paper. And I'm going to cut another piece. So this time, I am going to glue it down with a glue stick. And let me get my scissors. I'm going to cut this. This time I want it to be exactly nice for the paper because it's going to be glued down. So, getting my scissors, I'm coming across to cut. Okay. So what you want to do, and we can cut it off after I glue it down. So you want to wrinkle this up. Remember, that's the technique. We want to make it all crinkly. That's the cool texture we're doing. We're doing this watercolor tissue texture. We want our paper to have that nice crackly look to give us like that mosaic. Right. And now we're gonna get a glue stick and we're gonna glue it down. As you notice, I didn't draw anything yet on it. Maybe I should draw something on it. Let me draw a little quick. Now, if your students don't know how to draw yet, they can trace something. They can trace a shape or something. Let's say that we have one of these Montessori insets. That's too big for my paper. Oh, here's a triangle. This triangle will work. Okay, let's say, no, that's still too big. Well, it'll fit. Okay. I'm going to trace 2 shapes overlapping onto my paper. Okay, so I've got a triangle shape, and I'm going to do another shape here. I'm sorry, I'm going to use the same shape. I'm just so excited. I get so excited and I just start saying things. All right, now I am tracing a second shape overlapping it, because I can do some cool painting texture. So I have 2 triangles there, and I'm gonna, you can't see it that well now, but when I tape it down and paint it, you'll see it. you'll see the two triangles. Maybe you can. It's overlapping each other, and the overlap is going to be different colors. All right, here's a technique that I was supposed to do. Now, my art teacher, I actually go to art classes myself as an adult, and my watercolor art teacher introduced this to me and mentioned that it was a classic way of doing tissue painting. I couldn't find it anywhere online, so I'm just gonna go with what the steps I know. So I'm getting all the glue onto this tissue because I'm going to tape it down to, now it doesn't have to, this is very expensive watercolor. Yours does not have to be expensive watercolor. It could just be a thick cardboard, there we go, a cardboard stock or cardboard to hold that. And you want to make sure all those ends go down nice and smooth. All right. Get all that glue on there and get it down. And it's okay if it gets bent or it's crinkly, it's supposed to, and that's the texture. You can still kind of see my texture in my paper. You kind of see some of it. All right, I feel like when I glued it down, it took some of it out. So we're gonna paint this again. I get a paintbrush, and I'm gonna get in here and do these shapes. I'm gonna overlap them. I'm gonna use primary colors. So I'm gonna use red here in this triangle. And remember, this kind of bleeds, so you want to get really far away from the edge where you want it to stop. And I think this is a good exercise if you're trying to teach primary colors with students, a good introductory. You can talk about geometric shapes, you can talk about primary colors, what happens when they combine and make a perfect secondary. And we'll do that by, this is the overlap. I'm going to do yellow here, and the overlap is going to be this orange part because I'm going to add red to it. But I'm going to get all my yellow and do this whole triangle right here yellow. And I'll overlap that middle part with red. And hopefully it'll naturally turn orange. So I'm going to get all my yellow in. It's fun painting tissue paper. I like the way it feels. All right, now that overlapping part, I'm going to put some red only in that part. And I'm hoping that we'll get some kind of yellow, some kind of orange just in that middle part. And I see it's starting to take the color and changing it orange. Oh, I forgot this little corner here with the red. So my center turned orange. It looks orange to me. And I'm going to finish that red part I forgot over here. And of course I want the background to be painted. What do you think we should paint? I'm thinking a contrast color like the other primary, or we can paint it a secondary, but I think I'm going to just go with blue. I think I want more water. I wanted to have that background color like the fish. So when you're working with watercolor, and by the way, I didn't talk much about the watercolor paints. These are my primary watercolor paints that I sell on my website, but any paint can work. In fact, I probably should have showed you it with a typical dry watercolor palette, student grade, just so you can feel confident that you can do it with any paint. But I promise you, this will work with any paint. In fact, maybe I'll do a sample of that just so you don't feel like you have to have fancy paint. So I'm painting the background, this blue. I almost forgot about that part. It runs. Again, I love the texture we're getting, and this is a really fun way to introduce texture too. A lot of different elements we're studying here. We're studying shape, we're studying geometric shapes, we're studying primary colors, secondary colors, texture. texture and shape are one of the elements that we're teaching in visual arts. Okay, here's my art. Oh, I love that crackle look. It's wet right now, but this can be, and then I'm going to trim all those edges. That can be your finished artwork. Just need to find my scissors. Oh, right here. I can trim off this. And maybe if it gets loose, I might have to go through again with the glue gun, the glue stick. Maybe if these flaps lift up, I can go over it with the glue stick to make sure they're pasted down. And there you have it. You have some watercolor tissue art. Yeah, I see already I need to kind of get in there and throw some glue down. Maybe you can just go over it with your glue. I don't know, it's just experimental. Everything's always experimental, and your students will always come up with different iterations of the design. So here we go. There is my tissue watercolor texture. So much fun. I could do these forever. I could do skies and sceneries and flowers and little people and buildings. A lot of fun things you could do. All right, so that was that one, and then my fish with my surprise 2 paintings right there. All right, my friends, I hope you try that out. Please share with me if you do. I'd love to hear or see what you guys come up with. It's so fun. Remember, it's just tissue paper and crinkling it and painting on it. It's so much fun. I will continue exploring this and doing more fun things with it. All right, have a great day. Bye.